Chances are at least once a week I find myself making what I call power bowls. It's basically a bowl that's filled with some kind of protein, lots of vegetables, and a grain. My go-to lately has been this chicken quinoa bowl, and today I'm going to show you how to make it. First, I'm Yumna, aka Feel Good Foodie. I share wholesome, nutritious recipes that make your body feel good. This chicken quinoa bowl not only looks good, but it's also loaded with good for you ingredients like tomatoes and kale and almonds. The best part too is that it's easily adaptable to any ingredients and vegetables you have on hand, so there's an endless amount of combinations for a variety of meals. So here's what you'll need. You'll need some chicken breasts or chicken tenders, some uncooked quinoa, any vegetables you want. I like to use some tomatoes and kale for this one, some silvered almonds for some crunch, and these are the spices I use to coat the chicken. We've got some salt, pepper, paprika, onion powder, turmeric, and coriander, and some olive oil to get it all started. Let's start by mixing the chicken with the spices. Half a teaspoon of salt, 1/4 teaspoon black pepper, half a teaspoon paprika, 1/4 teaspoon onion powder, 1/4 teaspoon turmeric, and 1/4 teaspoon coriander. Now we'll add about a tablespoon of olive oil to this. You can eyeball it, doesn't have to be exact, and give it a good mix. This spice mix works really well together and the flavor just comes out perfect on the chicken. But if you wanted to, you can skip some of the spices or add some other things. All right, we'll set the chicken aside just for a few minutes at room temperature while we get the quinoa started. Time to cook the quinoa. So I have in here about 1.5 cups of quinoa, and I like to add 1.5 cups of water for every cup of quinoa when I cook it. We're gonna bring the quinoa to a boil, and then we're gonna lower the temperature to a simmer and cook it for 15 minutes undisturbed. And while that's cooking, we'll cook the chicken and the veggies. All right, we'll add a tablespoon of olive oil to a heated pan and add the chicken right into the pan. Whenever I cook chicken on a skillet, especially when it's a stainless steel skillet, I like to leave it untouched for at least 5 minutes, and what's gonna happen is it's gonna self-release when it's cooked. So just leave it alone for a few minutes and it's gonna get nice and golden, and then we'll flip it. Time to flip these over. See, it just kind of lifts itself off the pan. Now let's cook it for another 3 to 4 minutes until the juices run clear. You can also use a thermometer to check the internal temperature is like 160. All right, let's remove the chicken and let it rest. Now in the same skillet, we're gonna go ahead and cook the veggies. You can do any kind of veggies you want, and I like to do some kind of greens and some kind of something else like squash or broccoli or green beans. So we'll add the kale in here and just give it a light toast. It doesn't have to be fully cooked, just to wilt it down a little bit. I like to also use spinach or collard greens, and you can season it with a little bit of salt and pepper. And that's it. It just needs 1 to 2 minutes on the heat. If the pan is looking a little bit dry from the kale, you can add a touch of olive oil again. That's a touch of olive oil in my language. All right, now we add the tomatoes on here and a little bit of salt and pepper again. We just want to blister the tomatoes so they become nice and juicy. So just give them a toss frequently until they get a nice color on them and they soften up. All right, and this is what we're looking for. If you push down on one of them, you'll see it's nice and juicy, and that's what you want. It's basically gonna provide like a sauce for this chicken quinoa bowl. All right, let's remove it from the heat, and then we can assemble everything. Let's see how many we can get in the bowl. All right. We missed 3, not too bad. All right, now we assemble. We've got all the stuff right here. This is really good for family dinner night, so everyone can kind of make their own bowls. Put as much tomatoes, as much kale as you want. So we'll start by adding the cooked quinoa, add some of the kale, and the tomatoes. I just love all these colors right here. And then the chicken. So this is really good serving for about 4 bowls. And then I love to add a little bit of crunch. So these silvered almonds are perfect with these bowls. And I always like to hit it with some fresh herbs, especially when everything's been cooking for a while. So we've got here some cilantro. You can also do parsley or any herbs you like. And there you have it, chicken quinoa bowls made with tomatoes and kale. So fresh, so vibrant, so much flavor. And I think it's time for a video Matt to try this. Here you go. Awesome, he likes it, and I hope you guys try the recipe and like it as well. Thank you so much for watching. Check out the video description below for a full written recipe, and be sure to like, follow, subscribe for more healthy-ish recipes with feel-good ingredients. See you guys next time.